Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Regina Chamber Breakfast Series. Today, we are pleased to welcome Mayor Michael Fougere. Michael Fougere was elected as Mayor of Regina on October 24th, 2012, after serving for 5 terms on City Council, representing the residents of Ward 4, located in Southeast Regina. He holds a Bachelor of Arts with honors from St. Francis Xavier University and a Master's of Science degree from the London School of Economics. Michael has lived and worked in several provinces, Asia and Europe, and his career has focused on economic development. Mayor Fougere's priorities include housing, infrastructure, region economic development, and the advancement of the Regina Revitalization Initiative. Michael's family includes his wife Cindy and their children Thomas, Kristen, and Lucas. Michael has been involved in many community activities, including president of the Home and School Association at his children's school. He has also coached soccer, baseball, and basketball, and has managed a local hockey team. An avid runner, and actually this is where I met Michael, running around Wascana Lake a long time ago, before he was mayor. Mayor Fougere strives to live a healthy lifestyle and encourages a sensible work-life balance. Mayor Fougere has previously served on the board of directors for the Wascana Centre Authority, Saskatchewan Urban Municipalities Association, Tourism of Regina, and the Regina Downtown Business Improvement District. Please welcome our Mayor, Michael Fougere.
Thank you, Natty, for those kind words, and thank you, John, for giving my speech. That's great. Very pleased to be here this morning. Thank you very much for being here. The year in review, it's a great place to end discussion of the year because we had a fantastic year. So many people to thank on this. I'm going to get to those in just a moment, but before I get to my remarks, I want to talk about my colleagues on council, and I'm going to introduce them for you here. There's Councillor Barbara Young, Councillor Hawkins, Councillor Fraser, Councillor Burnett, Councillor Fougere, Councillor Murray, Sharon Bryce, Mike O'Donnell, and Jerry Flagel. This is part, ladies and gentlemen, of a fantastic team. Now, we're halfway through our first term in office since the new term. And the veterans who came back are skilled and knowledgeable and have a lot to give every day. The new councillors that came in are bright, intelligent, energetic, and they have proven to be just formidable people. I am honored to have them as my council colleagues. Give them a round of applause, please. Of course, council really specializes in talking. That's what we do for a living. There's many people who actually do things for us and help us be better as a city and implement the decisions that we make. So we have a number of people from our administration. I want to recognize them as well. Glenn Davies, Brent Schoberg, Jim Nickel, Byron Murray, Darren Harlick, Kim Onwright, Karen Gazmo, and Pat Gardner. There are many people that work for these individuals, but without their leadership on the senior management team, we wouldn't be where we are today. So another round of applause for our senior staff. So we have a united council that's really focused on meeting the challenges and seizing opportunities and really preparing us for growth. And our administration is dedicated to help us get there, so we're well on our way to some very good things. But of course, we work with partners, and Chamber of Commerce, people in this room, people across the city, you help us as well. So as much as John digressed to talk about me, I want to have a few words about John Hopkins. And I said this last year, and I'm going to say it again. John was at City Council on Monday night talking on your behalf, on the business community. And I can tell you confidently that members of council feel the same way. He's articulate, he knows his files, he knows how to move issues forward. He's respectful but very determined. You have a great CEO. He's probably the best one, I think, in Canada, He knows how to get things done, so John, great job, well done. So I stood here last year and I told you that we had an unbelievable year. And we did last year, the year before that is. This year, we've done some incredible things. I want to talk about those in a moment, although John stole my thunder. But I want to give you context on the economic side here, and you've heard this before. You've heard it from the Premier last week when he spoke, and it's always in the news. John certainly conveys this. We lead the nation in virtually every economic indicator. We have the lowest unemployment rate in Canada for 2 years running. We have a very strong, sustained construction growth. Our GDP growth is near the top. Strong, steady growth. I can't remember the time we had this kind of growth happening. Just incredible. Investment in our province, in our city is great. Our weekly earnings are near the top of the national charts. So we're doing very, very well. And so we can talk about that. And that's good that we among ourselves understand that we truly are an international city and international province having an impact around the world. Is what others say about us too, that's important as well. And there's many reports. I want to just talk about a couple of them. StatsCan has talked about our GDP growth, and of course we rank #1. We're the richest city in the country per capita. Unbelievable. I think this is the work by people in this room, in this province, has made us this way. It's what we do for ourselves that's so incredible. Conference Board of Canada released the City Magnets report in September. And this talks about economic engines for our city and what brings people who are mobile to a city. And for the first time, Regina broke into the top 10 of those Canadian cities, and we're ranked 8th overall, getting A grades on economic and environment rankings. So, our quality of life, we know about that. Others are learning more about this all the time. So people see what we have to offer and who we are, and they want to come here and invest and participate and grow, and we're all the better for that. So a year in review, let's talk about some projects and some developments that we have here, of course. And again, people are coming to our city and adding to the quality of life in our development. We talk about our housing market softening. I think it's plateauing a bit, but not going down, so I'm not at all discouraged. I talked to members of the real estate industry this morning. They feel much the same way. This simply is a bit of a breath. Take a breath, step aside for a moment, and we'll see more development happening soon. But we have higher than historic numbers, about $600 million at the end of November, so we're not even finished the year yet doing stats, and we're doing very, very well. We can talk about Harvard's farm credit place being built and more work being done at the GTH. We have hotels being built near the Pasco Hospital. The U of R has residences being built. A number of housing projects in Harbor Landing and northwest Regina are happening, so we're doing very well. Councillor O'Donnell, who chairs the Planning Commission, tells me I see this coming to council. This committee is by far the busiest that we have of any council, any committee of council. And it dominates our agenda at council because we have incredible investments happening all the time, and not just residential, but commercial and industrial as well. So we're doing very well. We have big projects. I'm going to talk about those, and one of them is just outside our door here. Doing very well for us, of course, moving ahead with the new stadium and the wastewater treatment plant. And while some talk about the cost of these projects, I want to talk about the efficiency of the projects themselves. So I was very surprised, and I think all of council and administration was, with the cost savings on a wastewater treatment plant. And this is a testament to our administration, Brent Schoberg and his staff, who worked to provide us with really an example nationally. We actually won an award on this one, of our P3 wastewater treatment plant. EPCOR, who won the bid, came in $42 million less than we projected when we put the bids out. $42 million less. That money will be reinvested in our infrastructure, those savings. So that's very good news. And over the course of the 30 years of operating and maintaining this, we'll save $240 million. Almost the price of a stadium there. Incredible savings, which is just absolutely remarkable. If you do a value for money audit, which was done as well, another way to look at this, the P3 model is $140 million less than a design bid build. So without a doubt, any way you look at it, any way you slice or dice it, this is incredible savings for taxpayers. This is what the City Council wants to do, is provide taxpayers' dollars, stretch those dollars to be used very well. So I want to thank the administration for the hard work they did there. And of course, we struggle with our infrastructure because linking our needs with the province and the federal government isn't easy. In this case, we received $42.5 million from the federal government on this project, so that made it very well, of course. On the stadium, you can't help but notice it as you come in here, the bright lights, the 4 cranes up in the air. Just is so exciting to see that. Incredible. A fixed price contract for us, as was the wastewater treatment plant. So any cost overruns or delays are really borne by not taxpayers, but by the builder. And that's excellent for us. A $278 million investment will really put us on the landscape, a landmark building. This is a mature city growing, and part of the RRI, of course, the first stage of a major development for downtown. Next year we'll see the CP lands begin to be developed. We'll talk about that in a public way. So we're all doing very, very well here. But the pace of development of the stadium is absolutely remarkable, and the change of the skyline with those 4 cranes is incredible. I understand that most of the concrete piles on the east side of that structure are done. 60% of the excavation for the sunken bowl is done. And about 180 people work in that site each and every day, so it really is huge. And will be done by the 2017 football season. Another priority for us, of course, is our planning for growth. And we've had 2 successful summits this year. Our first term in office, we had our housing and regional summit. We had a follow-up for 2 of them this year as well. Now, I've said many times that housing is an important, critical aspect of our city in its future. Without housing, we risk our growth and our prosperity. And we've seen some remarkable change around over the last couple of years. We had a 0.6 vacancy rate about 2 years ago. Now we have a 2.5% vacancy rate, well on the way to 3%, reaching our target of 3% by 2017. So we're doing very, very well there. 700 affordable and attainable housing units have been approved or being built. And we're also dealing with the really interesting subject that John likes, of course, is the phasing of financing, which is a long-term way that we will fund our new development in our new areas of the city that we've annexed. It's important that development pay for development and that the burden not be on taxpayers who are already here. That balance, that negotiation continues on, and I'm sure we'll have that in place relatively soon. Another pillar of importance for us of growth is regional growth, to maximize our potential. Our regional summit that we had this fall had about 100 representatives that were talking from the RMs and city towns and First Nations, speaking about how we can move this file forward and seize the opportunities before us. And we had some great discussions, and we talked about a governance model that's important about how we make decisions that are effective, that use resources effectively and don't duplicate. Those are very important issues too. And we talked about using the city's study on the wastewater study for a regional review. The City of Regina is the leadership in this one because we want to make sure that what we have can be used to sustain growth for our partners around the area. But again, about seizing opportunities is very important. Now, one of the issues that no one saw coming in this way, that it was a curve for us, was a change, was our pension. And no discussion of this year can really be finalized or finished until we talk about that in some detail. And while we knew for a while the pension plan was an issue, we had both the employers and employees discussing this issue, coming to a letter of intent some time ago, and we were moving toward that file coming to its conclusion. The superintendent of pensions thought otherwise, and met with and sent letters to all the partners saying we had till November 1st to put in anyone to put in an application of how we can make this fund sustainable. And by the end of the year, they'll decide whether this fund will be terminated or it'll be altered to be more sustainable. That got the attention of the employers and employees. And no one wants to have on their desk a $224 million liability that has to be paid immediately if this fund was terminated. That would be a huge blow to taxpayers who would be funding this very quickly. But even more importantly, that would be devastating for pensioners those people who built our city, who relied on that pension for their livelihood in their retirement years, would be at risk by cutting as much as 20% of those savings. And employees of the 5 employer groups would see their contributions rise, their ability to compete for positions to fill, very difficult to do for employers. So we had some issues here. So this city council and this administration took the lead on the employer group, spoke with the employees, their group, the 21 union groups, and came together, and when you recently heard, we have an agreement. And I think that's an absolutely outstanding result. 5 employer groups, 21 union groups, coming to an agreement, seeing the big picture, understanding the need to make our fund sustainable so we can contribute to our economy and take care of pensioners and take the risk away for taxpayers. Absolutely very, very important. So this agreement is now with the superintendent, and the ball is very much in his court. We believe and are absolutely confident this proposal, which will deal with deficits in the future and surpluses in the future, keep rates competitive, protect taxpayers, protect pensioners, that this will be approved by the governor. We're absolutely convinced that it will be, and maybe it's an early Christmas present for it. We hope so. So I want to say a few more words about closing out of 2014. Of course, it was an incredible year, an eventful year. I've been on council since 1997. Other my colleagues have been in since early 2000s up until, of course, this election. I have never seen so many massive issues come together and converge over this last 2 years. And this is a remarkable testament to the skill of our administration, the skill of our council to stay on target, stay on topic, and move these forward. There may be things happening in the next few years. I hope we can get a bit of a rest and get down to routine work, but it's been very, very good for us. We've done well. This week we passed our budget. I want to go through that just briefly with you. And it's always difficult for cities to put together budgets. It's not a complaint, it's simply a statement of fact. You've heard me say this before, and I'll say it again, that our source of revenue, property taxes, is the most regressive in Canada, most aggressive type of tax in Canada. It taxes perceived value, but doesn't really get to the heart of the issue. It doesn't grow with the economy either. 8 cents of every dollar you send to all 3 levels of government comes to city to pay for fire, police, garbage collection, snow removal, parks, all those things. So our role as a government, as a city, is to stretch those dollars as much as we can. And I think that Monday night was a good example of that, where we stretched those dollars and made what I think is a very excellent budget for us. So we came in at a 3.9% mill rate increase. And what's interesting about this one, of course, the 2.9 in there is actually for general administration for the city of Regina, not the capital side or our utility side. But we have 1% set aside of that to deal with local roads. And I think that resonates certainly with the chamber, supports this, and I know other business groups do, and I think the public understand they want their roads fixed, they want infrastructure dealt with. So we've set that aside. We will do so for the next 5 years into a reserve that will be dedicated to preventative maintenance, as well as fixing those streets that likely haven't been done and won't be done otherwise for many, many years. So that, I think, is important. So we know, or we believe we're on the line with what taxpayers want. Here are our priorities, in this order. Taxes. As much as we, as council administration, know it costs money to maintain and expand our services in a growing community, physically growing community. We have several acres of land we've incorporated. Now we have to service that land. It costs money to do that. Taxpayers are always watching. They want us to stretch our tax dollars, ensure that we're doing wise things with the tax dollars, and we review our spending habits to ensure we are as efficient as possible. And we have done that. In this budget, we have done that in spades. Again, they want roads fixed. The 1% is a tangible way to say we're doing that. But we're also spending a record $18 million in fixing existing streets as well. So we think we are convinced we have the right mix. And they want safe communities too. And those who paid attention at the budget on Monday night will know that the police service added 8 police officers who were doing administrative work onto the street. So we have more police officers in protecting our community, and that is quite important. We talked about transit and paratransit. We're adding new buses, new paratransit buses. We'll have now transit service on holidays. We have a record amount going into snow removal, $8.3 million going into snow removal, and that will enhance our quality of life over the winter months. And we're doing work for flood prevention. We've had 2 summers of flooding. We want to make sure that we're prepared as best we can for that, so the budget focuses on that too. So we're improving the quality of life, keeping taxes down, and being as efficient as we can be. So we came through a lot this year, and as we look to the future, it's hard to predict what's going to happen, but this council is prepared. But whatever 2015 brings, I know that we'll do this together. We'll work together and respond to the challenges that are coming ahead. So on behalf of my colleagues on Regina City Council, I want to wish you a very, very Merry Christmas, season's greetings, and a very healthy and happy New Year. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Your Worship. I don't know if we have any questions. We got a question. Will the Toronto Maple Leafs win the Stanley Cup?
No.
Hey, we won last night. Go Leafs, go. Okay, can you share any info or stats on the new residential recycling program?
Well, the program is going very well. We expect to get 40% diversion of our to landfill away. We're about halfway there right now. I'll say that as of beginning of 2015, we'll do the multi-family recycling. Will be the next phase of doing that, and we're looking at other aspects of tree recycling and other things. So we are still learning. We are still looking to continue to remove broken glass away from our recycling. Terra, who is the company that does the work for us, is well on its way to having the technology and the machinery to do that. So we are doing well. We're going to have a report coming to our Public Works Committee and then Council in January. We'll talk about some more modifications to the program to make it better, but we're doing very well so far.
I don't have any more questions, Your Worship, so thank you very much. I'd shake your hand, but I know you're good. Thank you.
Thanks again, everybody, and have a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
So I know all of you came actually here for this part of the meeting.